A familiar table at Payakumbuah. It was a warm Saturday evening in the middle of Ramadan. The sky had started to turn orange, and the streets were filled with people heading out to break their fast. My family and I had made plans to go out together for iftar. It wasn't something we did often, but tonight was special just for the five of us. My dad, my mom, my older sister Adelia, me, and my little sister named Karina. We were going to Payakumbuah, a small but cozy Minang restaurant not really far from our house. It was one of those places that didn't look fancy but had food that made you feel at home. Mom loved their rendang and dad always talked about the sambal ijo like it was some of sort of magic sauce. And my little sister Karina was very excited about the es campur. We left the house around 5 past 15 p.m. Traffic was a little slow, which was expected because it's Ramadan. Everyone was trying to get somewhere before Maghrib. I sat in the back seat between Karina and Adelia, which is my sister's. Karina kept asking if we were there yet every 2 minutes, and my older sister was scrolling through her phone, probably taking the best angle to take pictures later. When we finally arrived at Payakumbuh, the place was already half full because a lot of people made some reservation. People were chatting, waiters were rushing with trays of drinks, an appetizer, and the smell of spice filled the air. We were lucky enough to get a nice corner table near the window. "Let's order now," so the food comes right in time, Dad said as he opened the menu. We all looked through the list. It was packed with all the classic Minang dishes like dandang, ayam pop, gulai tunjang, perkedel, and more. "I want rendang," my mom said without hesitations. "I will get ayam bakar and sayur nangka," my dad said. "I want something crispy, and let's get dendeng too," my older sister. "I want otak sapi," I said, because yeah, that's my favorite. "Can I have es campur now?" my little sister asked, looking at the waiter hopefully. "Later, after buka, okay?" My mom smiled, pressing my little sister's hair back gently. We placed our order, including a big plate of nasi, tahu goreng, and 4 glasses of iced tea. As we waited, we chat casually, nothing deep, just jokes, comment about traffic, and a little bit of teasing about how hungry Karina was acting. Then something unexpected happened. A man passed by our table, stopped, and looked at my dad for a second. His eyes widened. "Eh, halo bang," the man said. Dad looked up and smiled in surprise. "Loh, Hendra, ya ampun, udah lama banget." They laughed and did a handshake hug combo that old friends do when they randomly met after years. Turns out Hendra was Dad's friends from college and they hadn't seen each other in maybe 10 years. I don't know. "I didn't expect to see you here," Hendra said. "Same, you brought your family too?" Dad asked. "Of course, that's my wife and our 2 kids over there." Hendra waved at his family at the table not far from ours. His wife smiled and waved back. His kids, a boy about 10 and a girl around 7, looked curious but shy. "Let's push this table together and eat as one big group," Dad offered. "Oh really? Are you sure?" Hendra asked, looking pleased. "Of course, it's Ramadan, what better time to reconnect?" And then the waiters start helped us arrange the table so we could all sit together. Introductions were made. Hendra's wife's name was Gina and their kids were Nabil and Ira. Adelia and I smiled politely and Karina immediately tried to talk to Ira, who looked just a little younger than her. The vibe quickly shifted from a family dinner to a mini reunion. Dad and Hendra jumped into a conversation about their old days. Mom and Dina hit it off too, talking about food, school, and how fast kids grow up. My older sister kept taking pictures of the food as it arrived, while I found myself chatting with Nables about video games. Karina and Ira were giggling about something they were throwing on the paper napkins. Right at Maghrib, the azan rang from a mosque nearby. Everyone stopped talking. Dad had out kurma or dates from a small plate the restaurant had given us, and we each took one. Bismillah, Dad said softly. We all ate our dates and took that first refreshing sip of iced tea. The cold sweetness hit my throat and spread through my body like a soft wave. That first sip after a day of fasting, it's always something special. Then came the food. The table was full of colorful steamed dishes, rendang with thick, dark sauce, standing balado with its fiery red chili, sayur nangka, yellow and fragrant, a stack of crispy tahu, and bowls of sambal in different shades of green and red. It smells very amazing, and somehow, with two families eating together, it felt even more joyful. Everyone dug in. Enak banget, Mom said after the first bite. The sambal ijo is still slaps, that said spring war onto his rice. Hendra laughed. Some things never change, huh? Tina added. This reminds me of our trip to Padang years ago. Adelia was busy arranging her food plate perfectly for photos while also chewing. Aesthetic and delicious, she said with a grin. Karina and Ira were still giggling, now trying to mix their rice with way too much sambal. They both squealed when it got too spicy. This is too pedas, Ira cried, laughing and reaching for an iced tea. Don't cry, Karina teased through her eyes were watery too. Nabil looked impressed. You guys are brave. I cannot even handle one spoon. The evening passed like that, full of laughter, shared bites, and stories. At one point, Hendra told a story about how that once got stuck in a broken elevator in college for 2 hours with nothing but a math book and a bottle of water. He actually studied the whole time, Hendra said. That is so dad, my older sister said while rolling her eyes playfully. Productive even when trapped, I joke.